You're listening to Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles, episode 83, featuring Amazing Spider-Man number 227 and Uncanny X-Men number 156 from January 1982. Hello and welcome to the 83rd episode of Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles podcast. I am your host, Pat, aka DJ Chris Statos. Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles is a podcast that will journal the Amazing Spider-Man comic book issues read chronologically by their release date, along with another comic from my collection, either in digital, in a trade, or from the many long boxes stashed away in my basement. Each episode will provide short recaps, reviews, and ratings of the issues for that release date. The goal is to keep me actively reading through my collection and having some fun along the way, talking about the comics with my friends. And speaking about my friends, who do we have with us today? We will start with the Leo of the group.
Thanks, Pat. You very seldom start with me. I appreciate it.
I know. I know.
Oh, Jason's doing Michelangelo things.
I know. It's hard that I do. We'll go ahead and go to the Leo, the one that keeps us on schedule and on task. It is Jared Ulbrich, a.k.a. the Death Probe.
Hey, everybody. Excited to be here on this episode. So very excited. I'm having some trouble. I use Marvel Unlimited. And it finally came. I've been trying to get this thing to come up for about 15 minutes now. I finally got it up. So, hey, let's talk about Spider-Man. Webs. And I also have a plan to steal some stuff after this, so stay tuned.
I thought you were done with that with your G.I. Joe stuff.
I think I'm gonna not steal anymore. Then I'm like, I'm totally gonna steal again. That's how I do it.
Well, with them redoing those G.I. Joe action figures, you're probably going to be hanging out with Jim. Jim, watch your stuff. If you invite Jared over to your house, make sure your things are locked down. Just a public service announcement to Jim. Lock your stuff up. Speaking about locking stuff up, let's go ahead and get to the Michelangelo of the group. It is Jason the Weasel Skull. Ulbrich, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Pat. You guys know that I've been twice married, twice divorced, so my love life hasn't always been the greatest. But I found this woman, and, aside from the fact that she's been imprisoned and got out of prison by feigning insanity, maybe not feigning so much, and, is a kleptomaniac, I think she could be the one.
I'm rooting for you.
Yeah. I'm hopefully you can finally find that love of a lifetime that you've been looking for. I have faith.
Spring's eternal.
Yep, it sure does. Speaking about springing eternally, let's go ahead and go to our Raphael of the group. It is Delvin the Dark Web Williams. Delvin, how are you springing today?
I'm very much like the X-Men comic. There's too much going on. Like, if I started talking about it, It would just blow your mind. Oh my God, Jared, we ain't got there yet.
We haven't got there. There's so much going on.
Oh my God, oh my God, too much going on. But I'm here. I'm happy to see you guys, and let's do a show.
All right. Well, speaking about let's do a show, let's actually do that. And we also want to invite everybody else to help us do that as well. And you can do that by sending us a voicemail to 707-532-5269. That number again is 707-532-LBOX.
Pick up the phone and steal something.
Put it in your pocket and walk off with it.
Now, before we get started with this episode's issue, let's go ahead and take a quick podcast promo break, and we will be right back.
Beginning at the ripe old age of 4 years old, seeing Star Wars for the first time, I became obsessed with the movies. What they were, what they did, what they meant. I turned that obsession into a career, climbing the filmmaking and storytelling ranks as a screenwriter, author, and television maker. Now, I'm taking you on a journey through the cinema that defined my generation, Generation X, in the Celluloid Heroes podcast. Examining the landmark films of the era from the well-known to the obscure to the unexpected, charting a history of cinema growth over the past 50 years, and looking forward to where it's going next. Celluloid Heroes is part memoir, part film analysis, and part exploration of the last 50 years of cinema through a Gen X lens. From the suburban adventures of Star Wars and E.T. the Extraterrestrial, to the Reagan-era cinema of The Right Stuff and Red Dawn, the sunny nostalgia that isn't of Back to the Future and Stand By Me, the year Generation X broke big with Reservoir Dogs and Dazed and Confused, the cautionary Los Angeles center tales of L.A. Confidential and The Limey, the last great golden age of blockbuster filmmaking with The Fellowship of the Ring and Pirates of the Caribbean, and concluding with the mournful ruminations of Inside Llewyn Davis and The Irishman. Celluloid Heroes will take a deep look at the themes, makers, and cultural context of this diverse array of films, and try to determine just what makes them so special to filmgoers, filmmakers, and to this fan in particular, as I chart a life through the movies that inspired me. It's also something of an autobiography of this young film fan who became a filmmaker himself, charting the good, the bad, and the ugly of a life in the creative arts with all of its triumphant moments and bitter defeats along the way. My name is Brad Abraham, and I welcome you to the Celluloid Heroes podcast, a proud member of the LONGBOX CRUSADE podcast network. Catch us monthly, and I'll see you there.
Welcome back from the break. Now let's get to the featured comic for this episode. It is Amazing Spider-Man number 227. The credits for this issue are provided by Mike's Amazing World of Comics website. Publisher was Marvel. It's got a cover date of April 1982, but its on sale date was January 5th, 1982. Ooh, we're into the January of 1982. Wow, we've been doing this for quite a while. Cover price is 60 cents. Editor was Thomas P. DeFalco.
Superstar.
Writer is Roger Stern. Penciler goes to John Romita Jr. Inker is Jim Mooney. Letterer is Joseph Rosen. And colorist is Bob Sharon. This was reprinted in Spider-Man Magazine number 2, or you can find it in Backpack Marvel's Spider-Man trade paperback, or in the Spider-Man vs. the Black Cat trade paperback, the Essential Spider-Man Volume 10 trade paperback, or in Spider-Man Nothing Can Stop the Juggernaut hardcover. It is also in Spider-Man by Roger Stern Omnibus. Ooh. And Marvel Masterworks Volume 293 from Amazing Spider-Man Volume 22 hardcover. So there's a lot of places you can go find this, and it's probably also on Marvel Unlimited. But let's go ahead and get to the cover. The cover was also drawn by John Romita Jr. Inker was Frank Giacoa. I'm good at those names now, man. I haven't fumbled at all.
I don't know what's going on. Pat just went on for about a good 2 minutes solid. I didn't hear
not one mess up. This is like an invasion of the body snatchers moment. Like, who took Pat and replaced him with the alien infiltrator?
83 episodes, guys. 83 episodes. I'm finally here. It's my turn.
Jared, you're talking about earlier, like you kind of got a rib thing. There might be like an egg growing inside right now. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get to the comic description. And that's going to be brought to you by Jared.
First of all, I'm really upset that I just realized this is issue 227 and I should have done the lyrics. There ain't no place like home with your family around you. No need to roam. Is that something like that?
You're never alone.
Never alone.
Never alone.
I mean, no place, child. But I screwed the pooch on that. I just realized perfectly good 227 reference. Maybe Delvin will pick it up. The story description, I don't know. Let's find out. Nope, never mind. All right, let's get to the cover. The Marvel Comics Group banner is green with black letters, and Spidey swings in his green corner box like he's on his way to take advantage of 2-for-1 steak biscuits. The Amazing Spider-Man logo is yellow with red highlights and includes the webs because if you're going to go all out. The main action centers on Black Cat as she crawls along a rooftop with the moon at her back, but no stars are out, probably because the food is the star. Her shadow casts down on a crouched for action Spider-Man as a cover blurb reads, the shocking, heart-wrenching battle our hero can't bear to win. Spider-Man versus the Black Cat. If Spidey and Black Cat stories make you happy, then this one should feed your happy. Back to you, Pat.
Hardee's, but why?
What's Black Cat's real name?
Okay.
I was trying to put it together too. I don't get what it has to. Oh, brilliant! Just scared.
Oh, that was a very good one, Jared. You had us guessing.
And now I'm hungry.
Yes, and now I'm hungry too.
That sounds good. 2-for-1 steak.
How did I not work a Carl's Jr. reference in that? I don't know. I'm off my game.
Hardee's is very underrated. I just want to say that. Like,
true.
It's one of those, I should stop by there more because, like, during the morning, their biscuits are amazing. And then, and their burgers are very, very good. Like, more people should go to Hardee's.
I concur. Or Carl's Jr., depending on where you live.
Yeah, it's Carl's Jr. out where I'm at, but those biscuits are legit.
Yeah, I love those biscuits, especially with some pads of butter.
As you did there.
Yes.
All right. So welcome to Hardy's Talk, episode 1. I'm your host, Jared Ulrich. If you're confused out there at all, her name's Felicia Hardy. So I decided to do Hardy's references. And also
Hardy's nuts.
Yes, back
yes. Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to some quick cover thoughts on this one. And we will begin with Delvin. What's your thoughts on the cover?
I'm not the craziest about the Felicia Hardy look. I don't know why. It's like she looks kind of weird. I mean, she's crouched in a cool action pose with something about the face. So I don't know. I like the Spidey pose though. Spidey looks like he's about to hop into action, looking all athletic and everything. You know, the background is cool too. And I mean, it's Romita. You can't really go wrong with Romita, right? And, you know, just going to show off I have this cover, you know, too. And that's really all I got.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and go to Jason. What's your thoughts on the cover?
I think I like it considerably more than Delvin. As you all recall, last time we talked about it, as we kind of start diving into this Felicia Hardy series, I said, I kind of figured Felicia Hardy's is kind of like a B-level Spider-Man character, and you guys all blew up at me. All the folks that were listening were like, oh no, we'll go to Burning Hill, Weasel Skull. And so I was like, okay, maybe I misjudged this a little bit. And as I've gotten into the story, I've come around. I agree with everybody. And so, you know, my philosophy being, if I was going to hang a Spider-Man cover on a wall, it would have to be one with a major villain in a cool pose. And this one kind of knocks it out of the park for me. I mean, I know it's for dramatic effect, but I like the Felicia Hardy pose, the two of them squaring off, especially since I've been following the story to this point. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be a poignant moment. That's another reason for me to pull this magazine off the rack. And that moon with the clouds in the background really sings to me. The colors all pull it together really well. I'm a big fan of this cover.
All right. I do agree with you. I think that purple really sets a kind of cool tone for this one. And I like the shadowing, that even if you look towards the bottom of the shadow, you can see her kind of silhouette as well, too. That's down there. And I think that's really cool. Jarrett, do you think it's cool, or what's your thoughts on it?
My first thought is, if you add a dope 80s beat, they could possibly be in the middle of a breakdance battle.
She breaks into the robot.
Look at Spidey with that breakdance pose. Yes.
You got the cat.
You know, like he's got the floor. She's on the side waiting her turn, you know, as you do. But anyways, here's some things I do really like about the cover. I like that they pretty much color wheeled it. Purple and yellow are the poppers. And so you got a lot of purple in the background. You got yellow for the title font, the blurb font, and the highlights of the moonlight on Felicia, which I think is really nice. So props to colorist on this one. Those moon highlights with her being directly behind the moon. Pretty cool. Nice skyline. I agree with Delvin. The face maybe too small. I don't know. Not perfect, but decent. Good skyline. Spidey's breakdance pose is cool. Maybe I don't know what other pose I might put him. Maybe swinging into the picture might be more fun. I don't know, but there's a lot. Oh, there's a lot to like here as far as if you think of it more as a Black Cat cover than a Spider-Man cover, it's offering quite a bit.
Spider-Man's got that kind of like if the DJ went, everybody freeze, and he does that freeze move.
Everybody clap your hands. It had to be said.
I set you up there, Delvin. I set you up. I think you got some good comments there, Jared. And like Delvin, too, I think when you do look at her face, it's a little different. It's a little devious looking, I think.
Auburn Elvis points out in the chat, the shading on her face is a little clumsy. He said it looks like she's observing Ash Wednesday, which is funny. But yeah, maybe just a little bit cleaner might have helped. And I think that's what you were just saying.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, let's go ahead and get to the cover ratings for this issue. As a reminder, we have a 1 through 5 cover rating system here at the LBC, and it is 5. You loved it. It tickled your tummy feathers. Ooh. 4, you really liked it. 3, you liked it. 2, you didn't like it.
No.
And 1, you hated it. It ruffled your tummy. Let's go ahead and go to Jason. What's your cover rating?
I have a feeling I'm going to be alone here, but this is a 5 for me. I'm looking at, would I put this on the wall? This is the one I would put on the wall for my Felicia Hardy as Spider-Man's villain. You know, I'd be looking for Doc Ock, Green Goblin. What's the best Doc Ock cover? What's the best Green Goblin? This one is the one that really speaks to me. Flaws and all, this is the one that I like. 5 for me.
That is an interesting concept that you just brought up of putting up on your wall a specific cover that highlights the villain. I like that concept. That's really cool. Jarrett, what's your thoughts on the cover?
I'm almost as sold as Jason, even though like it's not Romita Jr.'s best work by far. It's still a really good Black Cat cover, and I'll go with a 4.
Okay. I am also going to meet you guys at a 4. So 3 cool guys currently at a 4.
Did Delvin get asked?
Not yet. We're going to see what Delvin does.
And Jason didn't have the 4. He had a 5.
Oh, that's right. Okay, 2 cool guys. You know, I'm glad we can get to 2 cool guys.
Like, what's happening here?
Who else on this show?
I'm making you a 4, Jason. I'm just changing it. You're at a 4.
There are so we got a 5, 2 4s, and like honestly, I'm at that 3.5 level, which I know we can't be. So I'm lowering it to a 3, and I like it a little bit better than a 3, but I have to be, decisive with my numbers, no halfsies. So it is a 3, but I think that it averages out for us all because, especially with Jason's
5,
absolute love and admiration for this cover, which is cool.
Well, see, that's what I get for switching it up a little bit here. Screw everything up.
Some cool guys.
Right? Some cool guys,
I guess it's 2. I think it's me and you, but I think we're
2 and me. Yep, we 2 cool guys out of 4. A 5.
Where are we at? This is an interesting one.
We're kind of divided here, so that's all right. Well, with that, let's go ahead and get to the story synopsis from Delvin.
The title of this issue is Going Straight. The story starts with Spidey being ticked at the Daily Bugle, and so he's headed to the office of Police Captain Gene DeWolf, naturally. Why? Because the Bugle reported about the caper of last issue based off of Gene's reporting, but didn't include the somewhat good deeds of Black Cat. And Spidey kissed her and he's in love. Anyway, Gene reminds the Love Struck hero that, Black Cat is a felon, and really she should be turning his red and blue butt in, but she's being nice. Spidey really thinks there's something here with Cat. He needs a love that grows and doesn't want it unless he knows. So he goes to visit Cat, who is planning a caper so they can ride off into the sunset together. But oh yeah, that's against the law. But because Spidey is so tired of being alone, he gives Cat a chance at forgiveness, which he takes, vowing to not go through with the caper. I can stretch this out, but Cat dupes Spidey into looking like a part of the heist. The mobsters who own the heisted thing gets involved, but Spidey does his thing against the mobsters, and despite being shot in the leg, still chases Cat down, but Cat escapes. Oh yeah, I was starting a thing about Foolish Heart by Steve Perry. That was the song, Pat. It was Foolish Heart. Back to you.
Thank you, Delvin, because I was trying to figure out what it was actually you were talking about. But
yeah, I was going into it in the second paragraph, and then I was like, and I didn't even rush it. That's the funny thing. I did this morning. I had time and still was just like,
And that is how and that is how the sausage is made from behind the scenes. Sometimes Delvin just says, sometimes you just got to kick a synopsis off the cliff and just go,
Sometimes.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get to the bric-a-brac for this issue. Is it a first read or a reread? We will start with Jared.
I'm going to say it's a first read.
Okay,
yeah.
You're starting us off right. Okay, first
I'm going
read.
to say it's a first read.
Okay. Delvin?
Hold on. Jared? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Honestly, it's like I feel like maybe I read it in the past, but I can't verify it, so I'm calling it a first read. Like my memory of it wasn't great if I had.
Okay.
It's the best I can do.
I don't ever remember reading this myself. It is a first read, Pat.
Jason.
I'm going to keep it going. First read for me.
Ooh, that means 4 cool guys.
No, wait, I read this one. I'm just kidding. I'm still calling it first read.
3 cool guys.
It's a reading rainbow.
Rainbow. 4 cool guys. Rainbow. It's a reading rainbow. Oh, there we go. We got a reading rainbow. Unfortunately, no Glennis, but we'll take the rainbow. Let's go ahead and get into some high lows now. We will start with Jared. Give me a high, low, or a what the.
All right. One of my favorite highs, and this was kind of a small throwaway moment, but I was like, hey, what's his first name? Is it Peter Chang?
Oh, the guy in the, hold on.
Yeah.
The guy in the lab.
He stopped in the chat with Pete. I was like, hey, he was in that one with the Kung Fu White Dragon. Like, we hadn't seen this guy.
That's right.
Okay, yeah. I was trying to remember where this guy was.
Chang. I think it's Peter. Somebody in the chat help me out. Auburn Elvis, help me out.
I'm working on it.
Turn those pages.
Philip Chang. I just found it.
Yeah. Philip Chang. Got it. Yeah.
Philip Chang. Yeah, we have seen him since those were pretty good issues with the White Dragon. I remember enjoying those. So I know it's a small moment, but I was like, hey, they didn't forget about Philip Chang.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Now I'm remembering. Okay.
I thought it was familiar, but I didn't catch it. So good catch, Jared.
Yeah, definitely. I was like, this guy sounds familiar. Have we seen him, or are they setting something up for him to come back again?
For Stern's run, so it kind of makes me wonder if Stern just wanted to let everybody know that he was cool and did his homework, or if maybe he's got something planned for Philip in the coming issues. I don't know.
I don't know. Definitely a good call out. Let's go ahead and go to Jason. High, low, or what the?
I'm going to give it a high. It's really well written.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that stood out to me at the very beginning, you have the obligatory synopsis, right? And we'll get into it with the X-Men, but when you compare how they did the synopsis in this one to how they did the synopsis with X-Men, they don't waste a lot of time and they make it interesting, right? He's given the synopsis as he's chasing this villain, this mugger, like low level. And it's so like it's almost like he's given the synopsis. He's like, oh, excuse me for a minute. I got to go deal with this knucklehead, right? And this knucklehead's so unimportant that I'm not even going to put it on panel. It just says 18 seconds later, and then the dude's just just splattered with web slinging to the wall. And he's like, anyway, as I was saying, right? And the way that he's talking, he's talking about it as he's swinging through, and then they just put in the background. The artist does a really good job. Romita Jr. does a really good job of putting, kind of like the shadowy background as he's thinking back to the action events of the previous issue. I just thought it was really well done. It keeps you turning the page. It keeps you interested. It keeps you engaged. And it's not like a little bit of a punishment if you're like, hey, man, I'm a loyal reader. I know what happened last issue. Let's get to the story, man. So really well done job of giving me a synopsis while throwing me right into the story.
I agree. I think the writing on this one was done very well. It kept you interested, and it kept the beats moving forward. And also, like Jared said, is this Philip Chain thing just a seed that's being planted? There's some other stuff that was kind of being planted as well too on Spider-Man's personal side as well. So interesting where we go. Delvin, do you have a high low or what the?
I mean, it's always interesting when they do that retrospective of his relationships. And to me, like speaking to something that that Jason already mentioned, like this is your sign that something is a little bit better with Felicia. She wasn't just something fly by night. Cause I mean, they did the whole thing of, man, I haven't really had true feelings for somebody since Gwen Stacy. And I don't know if I'll ever have that again. And then she brought up Deb Whitman, and then brought up Marcy Kane, who we haven't seen a whole bunch of. And then his history with Deb Whitman was hilarious. Like, oh yeah, she keeps dating this like preppy dude. Like, no, Pete.
Yeah, he said she keeps dating like idiots, and I was
right.
Like,
it's like,
and you were one of them.
Yeah, she wanted to date you, but you turned down her full freaking meal to do God knows
pancakes, man.
Dumbass.
You turned down her pancakes.
You do not turn down a woman when she makes you pancakes.
You do not turn down pancakes. You just don't. I don't care who you are.
I don't care who you are.
You don't do that in Charlotte. Sorry, I got sidetracked. So like that gives you the idea of the seriousness, and then so it kind of went into the characterization as of, at least for now, why it couldn't work, because Pete is just too good of a good guy, and Felicia is not going to stop stealing. That she's not going to stop doing it. And so it looks like, even though they clearly like each other, for now, it doesn't seem like something that's going to happen. And I thought it was a well-told story. And I also thought that it showed a lot of characterization in Felicia Hardy that I liked. She was wily. She was very clever. She knew ways to stay one step ahead of Spider-Man that were believable ways, because they showed how powerful Spider-Man is, where he dismantled a normal human being in seconds. It was an off-panel thing. And he was shot in the leg. He was shot in the dang leg. Yeah. And those dudes oh, we got him. And he's like, no, you in fact do not have me. But sure enough, Felicia was able to stay ahead of him, at least for a short amount of time. Very, very good characterization all throughout this book. Fantastic.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that, Delvin. And, a burglar's going to burgle, and that's what she's going to do,
Yep. ABC, always be crooking.
Always be All right. Well, we've had a lot about Marcy. Who is it? Marcy Kane or...
Looks like she's somebody that's in the university with him, because she came up later in the book too.
She was there with Debbie as well.
I'm betting this is a Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man.
Probably. I don't remember her being much in Specs and Amazing Spidey much, but they brought her here she was in the book as a part of the university stuff for a very, very, very short time.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into round 2.
Patting his numbers today.
I'm not good with numbers. I don't.
His words, though. His words are spectacular.
A point. Let's go ahead and get into round 2. High, low, or what the? Jarrett, back to you.
It's a character I haven't thought of. I'm all about characters, apparently, on this. But I hadn't thought of in a long time, even though I think she started poking her head around recently. Is Jean DeWolf? It's like, I remember her mostly from the Sin Eater saga, but it was neat to see her back here. And I like her character. Like, she's Spider-Man's tough love friend. Like, she's his friend, but she's like, no, you straight up dropping the ball here, son. Like, and it just makes her very likable because, in the world of comics, you kind of either get a J. Jonah Jameson who's like, that webhead, or you get the person who's, Spidey's good friend. And here you have Spidey's friend, but someone who's not afraid to tell him like it is. He needs that liaison to the cops. It's almost a Commissioner Gordon type of a role. And I think that suits this book really well. And it just sort of unlocked those 80s memories of Captain DeWolf. And I like that.
I think you bring up a good point with DeWolf. She is like the opposite of J. Jonah. J. Jonah's out to get Peter. And with DeWolf, she's kind of there to kind of help him as much as she can, but she's going to play it by the book. And I like that. I think that's really good juxtaposition.
Sure.
Maybe. I don't know.
Juxta.
Juxta. Yeah, well, I'm not. All right, I'm bad with words again now. Back to that.
He got greedy.
I'm like, ooh, I can use big words. And
all right, take it slow, Pat. Take it slow now.
Let's go ahead and go to the man who has big words, Jason. High, low, or what the?
I'm going to give a second high. I really like this book. Jared kind of touched on the Jean DeWolf. I'll expand on it a little bit. I like where Spider-Man and Peter Parker are in this book as the main character. He's interesting. We get to see both the power of Spider-Man, as Delvin said, being able to survive that vicious attack in close quarters by multiple machine guns and multiple armed thugs, and get out of that using all of his powers, his spider sense, his agility, his strength. And we also get to see Peter Parker. Sometimes we forget how smart this guy is. Like, he is super smart. So smart, in fact, that he just kind of swings in at the last minute, does turns in an A+ science paper, and out he goes. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm thinking about my senior thesis now. It's,
Here is my paper on recombinant DNA.
Right.
That he dropped in like 2 hours and then pieced out. What?
Yeah.
What?
So you get to see all this, and yet he's still a young man, and he's still a young man in search of love. He's had a lot of trauma over the death of Gwen Stacy, which they touch on beautifully in this book. And so, of course, he's going to have confused emotions over Black Cat. And the thing that I think Captain DeWolf was trying to tell him at the end, when she gave him the papers that said there would be the DA agreed to a conditional pardon if she did, if she behaved herself. I think what Captain DeWolf was trying to tell him is, like, you've done everything you can, without giving up your principles, your values, the things that make you who you are, that you can't go any further with this. And I think that's a tough, painful lesson for our hero to learn, and he needed to learn it.
Yeah.
Liked it a lot.
Yeah. Again, character moments on Peter, on Captain, changing her mind to do that. Do you think when Peter writes or types, can he type faster than normal people do?
Maybe, but
A little spider sense tingles if he's going to hit the wrong key.
I was just thinking about that. I'm like, well, yeah, maybe he should be able to be kind of quicker on the
He has to power down, because if he punches the keys too hard, then he'll break the keys.
You'll know. I mean, I'm old enough to have had to work on a typewriter before. For you young folks out there, it's hard to do a paper in 2 hours, because you gotta you're like halfway through it, and then you screw something up, and then you gotta white out and go back through. There's no backspace, try again. There's no autocorrect that tells you how to spell the word.
That's true. That's true. I just when I was reading that, I'm like, can he type a little bit faster than normal or not? But
hey, they even name checked Smith Corona in the book. I was like, man.
Yeah.
For those of us that took typing class back in the day, Smith Corona.
Corona.
Shout out.
Exactly. And speaking about some shout outs, there were 3 songs that were used in this as well, too, that were pretty cool. A Do Run Run. I love that song. There were some, 2 other songs in there that were really cool. So I appreciate them doing that. Kind of puts it in its own little time capsule area, but for those of you that got it, we got it. Let's go ahead and go to Delvin, high, low, or what the.
It also sort of goes to show, that's one of the things that people do when they're in love. They start singing songs and stuff like that. And so, Pete had a song on his mind, and then Felicia had one on her mind too. So I was like, okay, I see what's going on there. So they both had a song on their hearts, and that's cool. I've said basically all that I've needed to say, I think. So what I will add is this is why it's great to have a consistent creative team. Doesn't it just feel like a solid, good story that's just done by a good creative team, and not like it was rushed together, how it felt like it's been like the past few months? So if anything, that put my, heart and mind at ease about Spidey, where it's like, okay, this seems like it just felt like it was building towards something. Even the dramatic end where Spidey just has the papers and he just throws them away. It's like, she's gone. Like, I'm never going to find her. And it speaks to the heroism of Spidey, where he did everything he could to track her down, and he wanted to take her to jail, but, to get better. And she escaped, and presumably, it seems like, any other human being would have drowned in that situation. It seemed like Felicia was saying, I would rather die than go to prison. And yet Spider-Man spent 10 minutes with a leg that was shot up, and who knows which New York waters he was in, diving into that dirtiness and getting into that.
Wasn't good.
No, it was not good. He probably has staphylococcus of some sort. And he still did this to go after Felicia. It was very, very, it showed just like both of their characters were shown so well in this issue. Just fantastically done. I know I've said that, but it really, really was well done.
I don't know what staphylococcus is, but it doesn't sound like it's good.
Gross bugs. You don't want to cut to get staph. It's gross.
Well, does anybody have any other thing they want to mention about this issue? Or
one quick thing I'd like to, we haven't talked about was the guy whose apartment they broke into. I like this guy
he was pretty cool.
He was cool. He was pretty smart about it. He's like, I'm not going to call the cops. And you broke into my house. And it's like, what do I got to lose, man? I can smoke Spider-Man right here, make myself a name for the Kingpin. And when his thugs were like, well, should we try to plug him? He's like, no, you can shoot at this nut all day and you ain't gonna hit him. Haven't you read 1 through 226? Come on, man. This ain't gonna be different for you guys. He had a good head on his shoulders, I thought. And I like the cut of his jib.
I think he was a pretty smart guy as well. Anybody have anything else they want to add or any comments in the chat?
It's just a shame the Black Cat is dead. We'll never see her again.
Never, ever.
What? She's dead?
I tell you what.
You all told me she was a main villain.
Well, she was until she, died. Clearly, like she did.
All I know is like Spidey tried to save Gwen and ended up breaking her neck, right? And he was like tormented over this. This woman died while wrapped in his webbing, and he was like, bummer.
He was more sad than that. Come on.
He was like, Gwen, no. And here he's like, give me a blanket.
Put a bandage on my.
He was sad, but it didn't feel like the same. I was like, she died wrapped in your webbing, dude. That's rough.
I think he knew she got away, but I don't know. Then you better do something about that webbing because, well, wasn't he saying that it hands about an hour? So, but she can't hold her breath for an hour.
No, she can't hold her breath for an hour. But nope. I'm going to assume Like I haven't. It's been so fascinating reading at the pace we have. Slowly proceeding forward. I don't know the next time that Black Cat shows up in the book. She will show up in the book again, Jason. But I don't know how they're going to introduce it. But like, it's probably got something to do with her powers that they have only loosely touched on. Like, she probably used her hex ability to get out of the web and escape.
All right.
It's possible that maybe she had to shed her clothes as well, and she was just like swimming through the water, all live. You know what, Pat? You should just take a show.
She's gonna get that whatever you called that stuff. You don't want that getting in places and in your bits and everywhere, but you don't want that.
I could fix her. I can give her medicine. I'm gonna go mute.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to the silly Spidey moment, and we'll go to Jason. What is your silly Spidey for this issue?
It came early. I touched on it in the intro when he goes to stop the person that tried to steal from the shop. And as he's swinging away, the person's like just webbed all the heck against the building. And the person he was trying to steal from was, can you believe that? He came down and like whooped your ass in like 18 seconds. And now you're stuck to the building. And the guy's just sitting there and he has to take it. And it's just that put a smile on my face. Cracked me up.
I want to jump in because that's mine too. Like, it's the equivalent of, there's a story back in the day, the Atlanta Hawks were playing the Boston Celtics and with Larry Bird playing. And Larry Bird was just having a freaking game. And he was having such a good game, and Atlanta was not that great of a team. And at the end, you could openly see like the Atlanta Hawks like sort of elbowing. Like, did you see what he did? Did you see that thing that they wound up getting in trouble by the coach, but of course, but it's like it was that moment with Spidey is like it was so good that even the robber and the store owner of the place he tried to rob was like, that was really impressive. It's like, yeah. Go ahead and call the cops. It was. He called me. That was good.
Jarrett, what is your silly Spidey?
Just for variety's sake, I'll pick when he's just absolutely clueless about his own fumbles with Deb Whitman. Just like, I thought she was into me, but she keeps dating this preppy jerk. It's like, Peter. Peter.
That's not how it happened.
We all saw it,
Peter. So yeah, unintentionally hilarious that Peter has no idea how hard he fumbled that ball.
Yeah, totally clueless. And I will agree with you on that one too. I thought that was a funny, silly moment as well. I like the guy she's dating, but I think he's funny just because he rubs Peter the wrong way.
Press
I
the
like
ball, Petey.
I want to see more of him. Like, Spider-Man can fight all these villains and just all these superheroes, but this one guy is just getting up by his, fears, just getting up and just causing him some issues.
I really wouldn't mind if Biff wound up like with a role at the Daily Bugle or something like that. It's something where Pete had to deal with him normally. I think that would have been amazing.
Hey, what's up, Pete?
Chief photo editor Biff.
Oh man, I would love that. That would be fun.
Hey, Pete, it's Biff. I just want to let you know that me and Debs was talking about you in the shower this morning.
What?
Her pancakes are delicious.
Have you tried her pancakes?
She puts these pecans in there. Oh man! And then don't get me set on when she puts the chocolate chips. Oh man, I love it. Oh man, that would be funny. Spider-Man getting foiled by Biff. That would be funny. All right, well, let's go ahead and get to some ratings for this issue. We will go back to our normal rating of a 1 through 5. 5 is you loved it. It tickled your tummy feathers. 4, you really liked it. 3, liked it. 2, you didn't like it. And 1, you hated it. It ruffled your tummy feathers. Ooh, just plain, not even fully cooked pancakes. Ugh.
Oh, it's got the batter in it.
Yeah, still. Yeah.
Oh.
Man. Delvin, 1 through 5.
I almost talked myself into a 5 on this. I really did.
I thought you had. I was just ready for it.
I really did. It was a great story, though. It was really, really good. Like, it's not quite 5, but like it's higher than a 4. But I've already done this bit. 4. It is a solid 4. Very good story. Very good characterization. And this creative team is a winner. Roger Stern is fantastic. John Romita Jr. fantastic. Like, the art was just great throughout the entire book. And I mean, just good, clean read, a thoroughly enjoyable Amazing Spider-Man experience. And that's kind of crazy because there were no real foes per se. It was just more about sort of Spider-Man / Peter Parker and his relationships. And it still was fantastic.
Yeah, definitely agree with you on that, Delvin. There wasn't a foe and just the storytelling going on. Jason, 1 through 5.
Maybe I'm just in a good mood, but I'm going to give it that 5. I thought that it had everything that I'm looking for in a Spider-Man story. As we talked about, it just was really cleverly written. The bad guy, I'll put in quotes, that they ended up, fighting was interesting. Like, he was I don't know if he's a recurring character. I wouldn't be shocked if he's not, but he was interesting, right? And really, the story is the conflict. It's part of Spider-Man's growth as a man, just coming into his own. Superpowers or not, you can have all the superpowers in the world. You still have to grow and you still have to develop. And Roger Stern and the artistic team did a fantastic job from cover to cover and telling a great, somewhat tragic, but still life-affirming story for Spider-Man, which had all of the elements of our hero in it. So 5 from me.
All right, Jarrett, you have a choice, or maybe your own. A 4, a 5, or maybe something different. Where do you stand?
I think I'm with Delvin. I really like it a lot. I think I'm going to give it a 4. It's only thing holding it back, man. This is a dense read. Maybe I'm just getting old. I just want these comics to fly by faster. But aside from the opening splash page, the second page is 5 panels, and after that, it's like 7, 8, 9, 9, 7, 8, 6, 9, 8, 8, 7, 9. Like, the panel count is high in this book. And, I'm not necessarily complaining about that. Like, it's very much the difference between old school comics and modern comics, but man, dense. But I still liked it quite a bit, and I'm going to go with that 4.
Was it a high count? I mean, compared to X-Men, you know what? We can wait.
Hold.
Goodness.
Well, I am at a dilemma here, but I am going to go with a 5. So that means 2 cool guys.
Oh, man.
At a 5. I could go at a 4 too, but it'd be a high 4. So I'm going to give it a 5 because I think, like Delvin's kind of been saying it, we are onto something now. We've been kind of treading water and just kind of keeping our heads up over the last few issues we were reading. I think this was really something that I'm excited to read some more now, to see where Peter's going and what's going on in his life. And there wasn't a villain, but the villain that really is against Peter is himself, right? And so that really came out in the character development for me on this issue. So I am with Jason at a 5. 2 cool guys. Woohoo!
The villain was the bad guy, Pat. Excuse me. The villain was the bad guy. No, Love was the bad guy, for Pete, because always seems to get away.
That's true. He's just unlucky in love. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into our next segment for this one. It is Karma Count with Albrin Elvis. Do you guys want to take a wager or put your bets on how much karma Peter got in this one?
I don't think there was a ton. I mean, there wasn't really a bad guy. I mean, she got away, but she's not really the bad guy. It was more like, 35. I say not a lot.
35?
I'm going to go a little lower. I'm going to say 20. I think Auburn Alvis is going to penalize him pretty hard for getting fooled for breaking and entering at the old boy's house. Well, of course, the guy did try to kill him. I'll just say 20. I'll say 20. I don't think
20?
there's a lot of karma to be had here. This is a tough lesson for our web slinging hero.
Jared.
$1.
$1. So 100 points.
1.
1 point. Ooh. He's going 1 point.
It makes it tough for you, Pat, because you can go 2, and then you can have 2 through 9, or you could go just above Delvin and have that through infinity. It's a tough call.
It is. Boy.
But Delvin have it at 35?
Delvin had 35.
So if I was you, I'd go strategically, I'd go either 36 or 2 if I was you. Or 21. You can have 21 through 34.
You know what? I am going to go with 15. We'll go to outside the box.
That is.
I hope you're proud of yourself, Auburn Elvis. Look what you've turned us into.
I'm going with 15. We'll see what happens as we get to karma count.
14 or less. Let's go.
I guess I'm your karma, and I love it. I can't get enough of it. There's nothing above it.
Hello, Crusaders. This is Auburn Elvis. Have you ever wondered if superheroes can improve their strength by working out? Well, according to the 1984 Marvel superhero role-playing game, they can, but it ain't easy. In the game, heroes gain and lose karma points for how heroic their actions are. Karma can be saved up over time and spent to improve a hero's ability scores. Improving an ability costs 10 times his current score, so if Spider-Man wanted to improve his strength of a 40 to a 41, it would cost him 400 karma points. And to give you an idea of how long it would take Spidey to earn that much karma, here's the karma count from his actions in this issue. This issue begins with Spidey incensed that the Black Cat wasn't credited with last issue's crime lord beatdown. He confronts Captain Jean DeWolf about it, and she explains that the Black Cat is trouble with a capital T. Spidey rebuffs her logic at the time, but later reconsiders. This leads our hero to recall the failures of his most recent relationships. And I just have to say, his perspective on Deb Whitman is so hilariously off base, I'm going to hit him up with another 5-point karma deduction for blaming her for the failure of that relationship. Get a clue, Peter. So, fresh off that pity party, he decides to pay Felicia a visit, and after she totally promises not to do the heist that she was just planning to do that night, he accepts her at her word and goes about his day, which includes showing up on campus a few hours before a major paper is done. But since he's so at ease with how well Felicia took his ultimatum, he actually breezes through finishing the paper and turns it in on time. 5 karma point bonus, Peter. That night, Spidey shows up at the building where Felicia had been planning to burglarize and catches her red-handed. She says, "Oopsies, forgivesies?" And like an idiot, he agrees. I'm not going to deduct karma for that, but boy, I really want to. When replacing the stolen statue, Black Cat double-crosses Spidey. The statue's owner, a very frizzy-haired mob boss, shows up and does not care for Spidey's offer of letting bygones be bygones. Next thing you know, machine guns are popping up out of the walls, blowing that guy's own place all to heck, and Spidey actually gets shot in the leg. The Black Cat jets, leaving Pegleg to take down all the mobsters by himself. He does and gets 20 karma for saving the Black Cat, but 0 for taking down the criminals since they're probably not going to get arrested. Also, she dropped the statue before the fight, so Spidey technically prevented her from stealing it, and that's another 10 karma for him. Black Cat tries to escape, but Spidey pursues her. She steals a motorcycle, but Spidey retrieves it. 10 more karma. Her dash for the piers is stopped as Spidey webs her up, but refusing capture, Black Cat rolls into the murky water. Spider-Man leaps in to save her, but after 10 minutes of searching, the realization that he won't be getting any karma for her arrest slowly sinks in. A heartbroken Spidey climbs back onto the dock, where a waiting Jean DeWolf has his leg bandaged as she tries her best not to say "I told you so." She leaves Spidey to have a nice little moment where he throws away the amnesty papers that Jean DeWolf had gotten the DA to agree to, and the issue ends with Webhead mourning the loss of yet another love and taking a 5-point karma deduction for littering. So after taking a bullet in the leg and losing his girl, Spidey ends up with 40 karma. If he endured this much misery just 9 more times, he'd have enough karma to raise his strength from a 40 to a 41. I'm Auburn Elvis. Thank you very much for listening to this karma count. Play us some sorrowful funeral music, Joe November.
I guess I'm your karma, and I love it. I can't get enough of it. There's nothing above it.
This segment is horse crap.
So basically, I agree, Jared. It is. We should just stop it because I win it like all the time.
I just questioned Auburn Elvis's morality, man.
See,
Like nothing got lost
revealing too
because-
much of himself to us.
see, I got that mind game on Auburn Elvis. See, like, when he does karma count, I be quiet, but like when he's done with it, I be talking again.
yeah, I see. Yeah.
I still don't get it, so I'm the bad judge of karma count. So
I guess I am too. I'm like, you don't lose anything for webbing somebody up and causing their death.
Causing their death. Yeah, that's perfectly. I was waiting for that bomb to drop. I was waiting for -50 because
that's
she's
where I
dead.
was going. Yeah.
No, not Auburn Elvis.
Because you webbed her up, dumb.
Out there recapping the whole issue and coming up with positive numbers for Spider-Man. Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah, we do.
25% of us really appreciate it.
25% of us appreciate the karma count game.
All right. Well, thank you, Auburn Elvis, for that fun segment. A game within the game here.
She died from being webbed up, Auburn. That's all I'm saying.
She died because of him, Auburn.
We might be taking this too seriously. I did not miss the fact that you gave him a littering penalty. I laughed at that during the playback, just so you know.
Oh, yeah. I guess I didn't.
Yes.
All kinds of
-5 for throwing those papers in the water. And I laughed at that.
Oh, fun. All right. Well, with that,
Those papers, that's what dirtied the water.
With that, that's going to bring us to the end of this part of the show. You got a comment or a question, send us an email at contact@longboxcrusade.com or make a comment on the Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook page. We will be right back. Spider-Man spoils a snatch. Stop! Thief!
Peter, someone's stolen the Cope Emerald.
Whoops. What's Peter Parker doing here at a time like this? Gee, Mary Jane, I just thought of something. Wow, some smart aleck is projecting hundreds of images. My spider webs can't catch what's not real, but how to tell which is the real villain? Nothing human can resist Hostess cupcakes. He can't help but show himself.
Delicious. Absolutely delicious. My images can't enjoy this delicious devil's food cake. This fudgy, chocolatey icing. The fresh, wholesome taste. I can. Oh, fudge. I didn't get the Cope Emerald, but I did get the rich taste of Hostess cupcakes. The day isn't a total loss.
Peter Parker, you missed all the excitement.
I just went out for some Hostess cupcakes. That's enough excitement for me.
You get a big delight in every bite of Hostess cupcakes. Welcome back from the break. Now let's get to the second featured comic for this episode, which is normally determined by the Crusader Club members. And when I say normally the Crusader Club members get to vote on this segment using the online poll only available on the Longbox Crusade page at patreon.com. But for this episode, we were running out of time, and it was decided by all the members of the Longbox Crusade. And I'm going to say all the members of the Longbox Crusade. Yes, Jared, you did say let's do X-Men.
No.
You did say it.
No, I
said make a decision, Pat. Make a decision.
Yeah, see?
That was my first mistake.
And you knew what I was going to choose, so you chose poorly, Jared. No, you didn't. So it was determined that we were going to do an X-Men just because we were already invested in it, that the LBC crew decided to choose this one for this go-around. But normally, all our Crusader Club members can choose that by going to Longbox Crusade at patreon.com and just joining us for $1 a month. You can be in that voting that is going on. We are at 49 members. We need one more to become 50. Ooh. And if you,
let me add a whoo.
Ooh.
Who's going to be number 50?
Who's going to be? Could it be you listening right now? It can be. So come and join us and check it out. But this second issue is Uncanny X-Men number 156. We'll go ahead and get into the credits for this issue, provided by Mike's Amazing World of Comics. Publisher was Marvel. It's got a cover date of April 1982, but its on sale date was January 12th, 1982. Cover price is 60 cents. Editor was Louise Simonson. Writer is Chris S. Claremont.
Esquire.
Penciler was Dave Cockrum. Inker is Bob Wycheck. Letterer is Janice Chang. And colorist is Don Warfield. This is reprinted in X-Men Classic number 60, or you can find it in Essential X-Men Volume 3. And if you didn't get it there, you can find it in Marvel Masterworks Volume 151 of the Uncanny X-Men Volume 7 hardcover, or maybe you have the Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 3 hardcover, or maybe you have X-Men Epic Collection, the Brood Saga trade paperback. All those places can be found for this issue. Cover credits for this issue go to Dave Cockrum, and inker is Bob Wycheck. Speaking about that solid Cockrum cover, let's go ahead and get a cover description from Jared.
I'm still mad about the karma count, so just give me a minute. I don't like when Delvin wins. You know what, though? Shout out to Auburn Ellis for putting together a quality product for every episode. He's never missed one.
No, he is not.
Yeah, well, he's never missed a deadline. He's missed the number that I wanted it to be. But
yeah. Well, he's always going to disappoint 3 out of 4 of us, Jared.
That's true. It's not a great success rate, but we do appreciate you, sir. All right, let me give you the cover description. The Marvel Comics Group banner is aqua blue with yellow letters, and the new corner box remains with the team charging out from it. The Uncanny X-Men logo is red with black highlights. The main action almost starts with the cover blurb that goes across the bottom and reads, "Enter the Star Jammers." I don't know a lot about the Star Jammers, and that's about to become evident. Corsair stands dead center on the cover, wielding dual pistols. To his left and our right is Cyclops and Storm. And to his right and our left is Kano from Mortal Kombat.
Raza.
Killer Frost from Firestorm.
Hepzibah.
And looming over them in the background is the Abomination from the Hulk.
Chod.
And the Abomination has Nicodemus from The Secret of Nim on his shoulder.
That's Nicodemus from The Secret of Nim.
Yes! Jason delivered the... well done, sir. Well done, sir. That's it, Pat. I don't know the real.
I was waiting for a little bit more, but
no, that's all.
I got the Secret of Nim reference there. It was one of my childhood memories of.
Yeah, we all grew up watching that movie. Like,
I love
you
that
go back
movie.
and watch it now. Like kids today couldn't handle that movie.
That movie got me in the feels.
And who else is on top of his joke game today? As Auburn Ellis is their space musical group, much like the Archies. I love it.
With Space Jammers. Woo!
You can totally see them like Abomination there on the drums.
Yeah.
And Kano on keyboards. I don't know their names.
Luke Cage. We're just missing Luke Cage.
That's Johnny Cage.
Oh, Johnny Cage. Well, Luke Cage, Johnny Cage. I get them all mixed up. Anyway.
Cage.
Neither one of them. Any one of them will punch you right in the nuts.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Once you get punched in the nuts, doesn't matter who it is. He's not going to remember their name.
Whatever Cage did it.
Even Nicolas Cage, probably. Who knows? All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into some quick cover thoughts on this. We'll begin with Delvin. What's your thoughts on the cover?
Good cover. Not necessarily one of Mr. Cockrum's greatest. It just looks like it was slightly rushed for whatever reason. But even that said, with a slightly rushed, it's still fantastic. It's a very good group pose. And to take a little bit from what Jason mentioned about the Spider-Man cover, I think like if you love the Star Jammers, you absolutely love this cover. Like you would be like, oh heck yeah, this is going on the wall.
This is my jam.
This is my jam, my Star Jam, if you will. But if you don't, it's okay. So I'm not the craziest about the Star Jammers, even though it's a cool, concept. Space pirates. I get that. It's probably because instead of Captain Summers, they need Major Williams. I'll save you. That one forever amusing. Overall, it is good. It is good. But I will mention that for whatever reason, the corner box with the character spilling out of it, I don't like it. Don't like it.
You still like the heads better, huh?
I need neatness in my corner box. I don't need spillage into the cover. I don't like it. I do not like it.
See, I was going to say I like the little spillage, and I like that the rat from The Secret of Nim tail is kind of behind the X-Men logo. I like that depthness that it's kind of providing. Jason, what's your thoughts on the cover?
Largely, I agree with Delvin. I will point out Delvin's hypocrisy because in the Spider-Man logo, he's coming out of that corner box as well. That corner box is not containing Spider-Man. So it seems like a little double standard. I'm just saying, Delvin, seems a little double standard.
Well, I have a comeback for that, Jason.
Waiting. He doesn't have a comeback, folks. All right.
Trash can.
I will say I too like the cover. I think it's decent, really good. And if you like the Starjammers, and I like them, I think they're really cool. I like their history with the X-Men. I like the spillover effect from the corner box. I like the fact it's like the team's like just ready to burst out into action, like telling you, open this book so we can get into the action. We'll talk about the story later on because Chris Clarimon's going to be like, wait. And I'm sure Jared will highlight that.
Love it.
I do like I like Cyclops and Storm, our two leaders here on the book with the Starjammers. And I also like the rubble that they're standing in to really kind of highlight, the action pose of this. Like there's going to be some destruction in this one, folks. And it's going to be a fun read. That's what the cover promises. And I think that's largely what the book delivers.
Very well said, Jason. I like in the Starjammers name below, they have the little star in the A. That's going a little extra mile there.
Right there in the A-hole.
Right in there in the A-hole, right there.
Star.
Mm-hmm. Cowabunga. They found it. Jared, what's your thoughts on the cover?
Oh, man, we're going to get flagged. I like it a lot. You said it, or Delvin, someone here said it best. I'm not sure who. I think it was Delvin. Wholly depending on how much you like the Starjammers. It's like a G.I. Joe cover. It really depends on who your favorite characters are. If you like the Starjammers, this is the bee's knees right here. I like the Starjammers. I think they're a neat concept. The only thing I feel like we have here is a missed opportunity. The only thing I don't like about this cover is the plain white background. I'm like, why not on a Starfield?
True.
They're the Starjammers. Put a Starfield background. Change the highlight on the red X-Men from the black highlight right now. Change that from black to either white or maybe yellow. Red and yellow always looks good for the X-Men. And put a Starfield on the background. It's not even hard. Like they're the Starjammers. It's in their name. The whiteness makes it feel just almost like
we had to get this out real quick.
Yeah, a little rushed. Yeah, but it's still. I mean, it's a cool cover, especially if you like Starjammers.
As we've been reading this, I'm in the middle on Starjammers right now because I haven't had a lot with them, so I'm still in the middle. I like Corsair. I think he's kind of a wild and kooky guy. He's like that. Hey, look at me. I'm a Starjamming guy. I got some cool stuff, and I've had some problems with my life going on here, but, I'm still cool. And I know, by the way, I'm Scott's father. I'm still in the middle, so I'm out. I don't know how I feel. With that, I think it's a really cool cover. I think the detailing that is done makes this a pretty good, solid Cockrum cover. Him and his detailing is really good, and the inks help it as well. But you're right, Jared. The white background needs something. Needs a little more, something to else help it pop.
Yeah, just a little punch up would have helped a lot better.
With that, let's go ahead and get to some cover ratings. As a reminder, it is a 1 through 5 rating. 5 is you loved it. It gave you a ring to swing from. 4, you really liked it. 3, you liked it. It's okay. 2, you didn't like it. And 1, you hated it. It turned you into a little baby. We'll go to Delvin. 1 through 5 for the cover.
It's a good enough cover, group shot, minus the background even. So I'll give it a 4. It's good.
Delvin's at a 4. Jason, will you see him higher or lower?
I'll match that 4. I think 4 is a fair number. It's always difficult for an artist to put so many people onto a cover, and I think that Cockrum does it as good or better than anybody else. I would like to see that Starfield, though, now that Jared brings it up. That'd be cool. So 4 for me.
Jared, 1 through 5 on the cover.
In the chat, Kathy mentioned she gives it a 3 because she finds it overly busy, and that's fair. It is kind of hard to pick out. You kind of have to take your time to pick everybody out, so that's not bad. Auburn Elvis gives it a 5. He loves it, and I don't begrudge him that at all. Matt Passo gives it a 3. I'm going to be right in there between all those cats, and I'm going to land on that 4. I think I really like it. It's good, but I understand the busyness, and I understand somebody like Auburn Elvis putting it a 5. I mean, especially you like the Starjammers? This is Dave Cockrum drawing you some dang Starjammers, so I'm cool with it.
That's true.
Either way.
That is true. It is some solid Cockrum giving you the
in all that, I landed on a 4. I don't know if I made that clear.
Yeah, I heard you at a 4, and you know what? I'm at a boom, boom.
Boom, 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 boom,
Boom, boom. That's 4 cool guys coming in at a 4. So boom, boom, open that door. Boom, boom, boom. 4 cool guys coming in at a 4. Speaking about a 4, let's see if the synopsis could do any higher than a 4.
Good luck.
Well,
I mean, 4 words or less. 4 words or less.
I'm going to time him on this 2 minutes.
I really try to shoot for a 3. You know, I get a 3. I'm good. The title was called Pursuit. When we last left our mighty mutant team, they were in a bit of a pickle. After engaging in battle with a Brood hit team led by the murderous Deathbird, Colossus was left mortally wounded. Our story picks up with the local police arriving on scene, a bit miffed that the battle has completely destroyed a $250 million construction project. Before they can take our heroes into custody, however, they are teleported to safety due to the timely arrival of the Starjammers, who immediately placed the near-dead Colossus into advanced medical technology. Pursuing a fleeing Deathbird, both Starjammers/X-Men and the Deathbird ships are captured by the Brood and a giant space beast bred for interstellar travel. A revived Colossus quickly dismisses any notion that they are easy prey, however, as he leads the combined forces of the Starjammers and X-Men into an attack. During the melee, our heroes manage to rescue Professor X and Lilandra and make a daring escape. Before they can pop the champagne corks, however, they run into their next problem. Their vessel is damaged and needs 24 hours to repair, and they only have 6 hours remaining on their deadline to prove that they have rescued Lilandra. Back to you, Pat.
All right, Jason, thank you for that synopsis. Let's go ahead and get into the brick or brack for this issue. And let's find out, is it a first read or a reread, Delvin?
First read, Pat.
Jason?
This was a reread for me.
Oh, shoot. Jared, does it even matter? But go ahead and tell us.
First read, but I feel like I read it like 11 times. This took so long. It's first read, Pat.
First read for you. It is a first read for me. So 3 cool guys at a first read and 1 chump with a reread.
Hey, Jason, the jerk store called. It wants you back.
I know.
That's my comeback from like all those minutes ago.
Stupid literacy.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into some high, lows, or what does. And Jason, we will give you a chance to redeem yourself with a high, low, or what the.
Well, although I like the book quite a lot, I will just pick up where I left off with the Spider-Man, where I said that they had a high of how they do the recap. My low is it takes a little while before we get to the meat of the story here with this issue of the X-Men. The art of the recap is not Chris Claremont's forte, at least at this point. And it takes us a minute to get into the story. It's a good story. I like where it's going. I like the characters. I like the action. It's a little clumsy coming out of the gate. I'll leave it at that.
I hear what you're saying on this one. There's a lot to unpack here.
Yes, and it's a lot of it's done through exposition,
Yes.
or thought exposition. Someone just really thinking through all the things that happened last issue.
Yes.
Yeah. It was still, I'm going to say decent, but there's a lot going on in this one. But let's go ahead and go to Delvin. What's your thoughts? High, low, or what the?
Pat, there was a lot going on in this one.
No, really?
Yeah. I'm not sure if you've heard that or not, but there was a lot. Seriously, I needed to read it twice. I got busy today. I was not able to read it twice. I only read it once, and I needed to read it twice because even though that said, it got halfway through the book and I wanted to stop reading it. And that's funny. Like, I usually don't do that with X-Men. Like, maybe I was just in like somewhat of like a bad mood or something. I don't know. But I was like, by the time like Claremont, it's Claremont. Well, Captain Summers was explaining the part. There was just so many things going on. He was explaining the Cyclops about, what happened.
Yeah.
And why he had to abandon them. And then they were in this brood thing. And then Cyclops died, but then he came back. And then there was this kitty part with Nightcrawler. It's like, oh my God. It actually was too much. I actually just got sensory overload. It was like, zzz, and then an alien ship comes down and after $250 million damage, and they teleport up, and then they get in a space fight, and then they go into this other ship that's a living ship, and then Storm gets teleported out into space. Like, oh my God. Can I only have like 2 things happen? I just need 2. I just need 2. You gave me like 48. I just need 2.
I see 2 possible scenarios here. Like Claremont's sitting down with Cockrum. He's like, hey, and Cockram's like in on it. He's like, yeah. And then we're going to add this. Oh, yeah, we're going to add this. That's scenario number 1. Scenario number 2 is Claremont's like, and then we're going to have there's going to be a ship. There's going to be the bigger ship and then the big living ship. And then Cockrum was like, oh, this is a clean show, isn't it? Bleep you, Claremont.
It was so much.
You've got to shut up.
Like the impressive part would be, was this a standard 22 page?
It was.
My dear.
It was a standard comic size.
Dearest deity. Oh my goodness. Oh, it was so much.
Well, thank you, Jared, for that. Your thoughts on that? Well, let's go to the other Jared and get some high, lows, or what does.
You know what? I'm going to give a high for Cockrum can draw spacecraft. Oh. Look at this. Like, no, this 2-page spread. Like, gorgeous. Nobody's business. Like, his spaceships and the giant living cruiser thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, what impresses me most
it's wacky.
For those of you who are watching on the video, you can see me holding as a 2-page spread of like this giant sort of fish-shaped spacecraft that's actually a giant space fish. What impresses me the most about it is how he does scale. He does the scale so well by adding the Starjammer ship and then adding the littler ship in front of the ship and then how he put the panels in the corner. This man is a mastermind. Everybody pay attention to the star field behind the ship. And now imagine it's on the cover. Now the cover's a 5. But yeah, that's my high. But I am going to just going to hook on to the Delvin train and tell a real story. Like I was reading this last night. And then my wife was like, hey, Jay's in bed. It's about movie time. And I was like, well, let me just see if I can finish this. And I looked and I had 5 pages left. I was like, nope, bookmark. And watch the movie and come back. Because I was like, no, it's going to take me at least another 20 minutes to read these 5 pages. So, yeah, we talked about the density of Amazing Spider-Man.
Yes.
Holy crap. This is a dense book.
Yeah, I read these back to back. And as Delvin said earlier on, there was a lot going on in Amazing Spider-Man, a lot of character moments, a lot of stuff going on. And then you get into the X-Men. Amazing Spider-Man read a lot quicker and faster than what the X-Men one did. And I was like, oh, man, just kind of dragging. But I still felt there was some good character moments in there. Delvin mentioned Corsair talking about what happened and Scott finally coming to the awareness of, man, my dad's been through some, it's kind of the same stuff that Cyclops has been through in a way, to see someone that he loved get hurt, all that it's been through and the reasons why. So could it have been done a little bit better? Maybe. I think, is it with the exposition of it, or could it have been done better in the art? I don't know.
Because I think it was fantastic. The art's fantastic. I think it's just the storytelling. When we did the Spider-Man segment, when he said how many panels were on each page, I was like, man, it didn't feel that way to me when I read it.
No.
And Truth in Advertising, I'm reading it through, on my phone through the Marvel Universe app. And so I'm looking at it panel to panel, so it just kind of slides across for me. And I looked at this and I was like, yeah, he's right. It's the same panel count. I just think the Spider-Man story, they gave you the exposition while somehow managing to still pull you through the story. This is almost like they get to a spot and there's like, blah, stop for lots of exposition, and then continue story. But stop, wait for lots of, reflection, continue story. And it just feels a lot more start-stop to me in X-Men. I'm sorry if I made this.
And I'm going to make it go longer because I felt like it was at the expense of some good storytelling. Like we were like, is Colossus going to die?
Yeah.
And then they were cramming it so much. They were like, oh, I'm okay.
Yeah. When did he get okay?
Yeah. That was a huge.
Like, next thing you know, he's punching down this door and is like,
I'm good, bro.
He's
all
like,
right.
He ate a spinach or something.
Claremont undermined his own really good storytelling from the first issue because he was in such a hurry to get so much story out here. This really needed to be 2 to 3 issues.
And I think what also happened too is like they kind of allude to it at the end of, this is all about part of the plan. Well, where was that planning? We didn't see that planning. I'm tossed. I'm like, I loved it, but I didn't love it. Oh. Jason, do you have anything else to add for your second round? I know you said something else, but
I will. I will say I'll give it a positive on this. I did like Colossus going into battle. That did tickle my feels right there when he comes busting out through that door and just laying into those brood. There's a panel on here. I'm staring at it, and I'm sorry I don't know which page it is, but he's uppercutting this brood.
Yeah.
Like just laying this fool out. Hats off to Colossus as the character. Peter Rasputin he's a peace-loving guy. He's kind of a quiet guy. He likes art. He likes farming. But boy, there are moments in the X-Men when you get his dander up, he is going to lay into you. And you see it here in this issue. And I like that from just an action vibe, getting that from the book. So I like that part of it.
Delvin, high, low, or what for your second round?
Yeah, I guess it should be mentioned that, there's so much going on that they started talking about the dangerous brood and they gave a hint to it. And so I will give Claremont a compliment in that, that huge starship that the brood they were traveling in, that was a living being. And it was a living being that the brood had basically stripped all of the autonomy from in order for that enormous creature to serve the brood. And I don't know if that's something that people picked up on. I read it. I'm like, that sounds freaking horrible. That's just a terrible thing for a race of creatures to do. And they also hinted, and I can't remember which one of the Starjammers, but Storm was kind of doing her thing like, hey, everything living deserves dignity. And they were like, not brood. No. You need to dispel yourself of that notion that the brood are anything other than psychotic alien killers. And you need to go ahead and be as merciless as possible against them. So that part, it was a underrated part that maybe Claremont did that intentionally. There's so much action going on. The main point was that the X-Men all needed to get together and they needed to bring Lilandra back to Dekin, I believe it is. Jason? Yep, Jason's dying. Yep, they got to get Lilandra back to Dekin or else they're going to destroy Earth. So like, I didn't forget that, but it's like in the midst of all that, like somehow, like there's so much action going on that somehow they buried a lead that the Brood are ridiculously dangerous. And just looking through some of the covers, it looks like we're going to be touching upon that point very, very soon in X-Men lore about just how dangerous the Brood are. So I'll give that sort of transcended to a high in that, like, the action that Claremont put in this book was so much that he may have intentionally been trying to cover this. And to mention what you said before, Pat, I don't think it wasn't poorly done. Like that's the one thing that I would say to anyone listening to this. None of it was poorly done at all. I'm almost impressed at how much Claremont and company could put into a standard 22-page story. It's insane. This is a book. This is a dang novel. And that's and I can see how it can sound critical, and I was being critical, but like it's not over the top critical because there was a bunch of story put in this book. And clearly Claremont does things like this for a reason, where you'll get these books and they're so busy, but then next thing you know, over the next year or so, you're like, oh, okay. I kind of see where he was going with this. Even though this book, it was a lot, I think there was a method behind the madness.
Yeah. You know what? I am going to give a good analogy on what I thought about this. And it's going to be based off of just coming back from Dragon Con. I went to the airport. I'm in the airport and I got a sub at Jersey Mike's, right? And I'm getting, I'm like, give me the turkey because I love me some turkey, which means I love me some X-Men. And I want that turkey. And the lady says, do you want it Mike's way? And Mike's way is like, let's put all this crap in here, man. I'm going to give it all this on this thing. And you got this big sub. I'm like, yeah, do it Mike's way and give me all the good stuff and give me all this tasty stuff that I want. And then when you try to eat that sub, it's like, I'm getting this big mouthful of sub in my mouth and it's just spooling out. But, it's tasty and I love it. And eventually I'll get all the flavors together. But I think that's what this issue is. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to get down. But
thank you to Jersey Mike's for sponsoring this episode. LONGBOX CRUSADE.
That's right. Those get Jersey Mike's to do some
sponsoring. I love me some Jersey Mike's. But anyway, I hope you all can kind of understand that like Delvin's saying, it's such a good, tasty meal that I'm trying to get here. And I hope that this is going to pay off as we go through the further issues coming up. With that said, I love me some Jersey Mike and I love me some X-Men. And who's next on the list? I got sub on my mind now.
It's me, and I don't know how to follow that. It's a good analogy, though, Pat. It's like sometimes you just want some turkey and cheese, maybe a little mayo mustard,
provolone, and
just let it go. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know what else I got. Like, I guess I keep piggybacking off of Delvin. They're all good storylines, but he's putting in so many, I feel like he's undercutting some of the good ones. Anyway, you know what? I'll just give a hi to when Professor X was like, oh, zero gravity? It's on, son. His name is Charles Xavier. Sabaru. He come from the top rung, just swinging it full. And Cyclops was like, dude, calm down. Yeah. He's like, how do I get my dander up? That was hilarious. So that's what I'll add. That was a funny moment to me.
He's coming down on him, like David said. David, come down on him.
He's like, oh, zero G's?
It's a Brood, dude.
He said something like, now my destroyed legs aren't even a factor.
I remember the previous episode where Wolverine was like, these guys are tough, like I'm really struggling. Professor X like, let me show you how it's done, son.
It's not Charles the Negotiator, it's Charles the Merciless.
Come down on him.
Oh yeah. Does anybody have anything else that they want to bring up for this
6-7 rounds? But I think your Jersey Mike sub analogy. Right?
I can't. Nobody can top that.
It's tasty and we're hungry, so let's go ahead and get to all this bric-a-brac and we'll get it all done with it so we can go get some Jersey Mike's. And if you love Jersey Mike's as much as I love Jersey Mike's, then for just $1 a month, you can join the Crusaders Club and we can all get Jersey Mikes.
Jersey Mike's not available to all Crusaders Club members.
It's giving the same vibes of Happy Gilmore in the
Subway
commercial. Get one of those songs my way.
Let's go ahead and get into who went the extra mile besides Jersey Mike's. Who else went the extra mile in this issue? We'll go to Jason. Who went the extra mile for you?
I'm going to give it to my boy Colossus. He went from near dead at the beginning of the issue to laying waste to some brood by the end of the issue. Don't know how he did it, but he done did it. Colossus for me.
All right. It is Colossus for Jason, Delvin, Colossus, or somebody else.
Related to Colossus, I'm going to go with Kitty because I do think she kind of had a strong character moment where she went from sort of being, the flighty teenager. But when old boy intentionally showed that video of like Colossus being killed, she's like, like, okay, yeah, I see you. I'm gonna mess you up the next when I get my hands on you. Like, oh dang, I like that moment. It was a cool moment.
And I think that's one of those moments that Claremont puts in that if you weren't reading the last issue, you wouldn't have understood it. But I took it as she's still doing something with the dress changing and all that she's manipulating whatever she's getting into their system or something like that I think she's got going on that I think is going to come back to, kind of come back on that guy is like,
yeah,
100%. She's up to something.
She's up to something. Which I thought was, oh yeah, that's right. She was doing something before she mentioned it, and now she's doing it again. So cool. Good choice there, Delvin. Jared, who went your extra mile?
Well, costume generation machines of alien technology can never go wrong. Just ask Peter Parker. With that slightly deep cut out, I gotta go for Charles Maurice Feldman Xavier coming off the top rung. Man. He's like, I might do mind fights, but I also don't mind fights. Whack, whack.
That is a good one as well. Man, so many to kind of choose from in this one, but I am going to go with Jason. Two cool guys with the Colossus.
I got a great comment in the chat from our Elvis about Deathbird. Why did parents name her that? What did they expect her to turn out to be? Good question.
You're such a bad kid, Deathbird.
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 Why can't you be more like your sister?
Lalandra.
Why did you topple over all the toys, Deathbird?
All right, well, let's go get into the ratings for this issue. It is a 1 through 5 rating. 5 is you loved it. It gave you a ring to swing from.
Woohoo!
4, you really liked it. 3, liked it. 2, didn't like it. And 1, you hated it. It turned you into a baby. Jared, start us off.
Oh, this is a tough one, man, because it is a tough read, but nothing about it was particularly bad except for the exposition. Gosh, we got a lot going on. 3.5, Pat. 3.5.
What? Oh, wait.
Deathbird. You can't give a 3.5 rating.
What would you Lalandra? They went from actually they went from Deathbird to Lalandra. That's a weird path. All right. Exposition brings it down. Cockrum's at the top of a 4. I'll run up to a 4 because that Cockrum art, especially that double splash page, is incredible.
All right. I hear you at a 4. Jason?
I'm going to go with a 4 as well. I agree. There's a lot going on here. A lot of it is cutting edge stuff. We're seeing the Brood. We're seeing the reuniting of Cyclops and Corsair, his father. A lot of exciting things happening here. It's a little, like we talked about, a little clumsily told, but man, Cockrum can bring a 3 to a 4 like that. And he does. I'm still staring at this panel of Colossus 100%. Just uppercutting this Brood right here.
And it's a small panel.
It's a small panel, and it's worth the price of admission. So right there, 4 for me.
Speaking about Cockrum and the art that he has in here, and Jason, you kind of put it with just him telling a story within a story. Just that one panel of Corsair and Cyclops, kind of that side hug between a dad and a son there. That simple cut to where they're standing, then the next panel, they're there kind of hugging it out, and the girl comes in and says, hey, we got to get going. We got to fight now. That meant a lot. And I got some feels on that one. So hats off to that. Oh, Delvin, give us your ratings, and then I'll get to mine.
Oh, okay. All right. 4. And I talked myself into it a little bit. I was thinking like maybe a 3, but as soon as I started talking about the Brood component of it, and I'm just like, the X-Men don't even know the danger that they're in. They're so busy, wrapped up in trying to do this Starjammers adventure that they aren't realizing that they are fighting one of the deadliest alien races that has ever existed. They don't know that yet. And that's I'm now just retroactively giving Chris Claremont a ton of credit for sort of burying that under this storyline that's been going on with the Starjammers. It's very easy to forget that, they're just fighting some ugly aliens. No. The Brood are something to be fearful of. So, like, it's made me reinterested again in the X-Men. So, good job by Claremont and Company. It gets a 4.
So was it Raza who gave him their first clue? Was that the one that was like, no, just kill these people?
Yeah, it was either Raza. Yeah, it was either Raza or Hepzibah. Like, they're like, kill them immediately. They die.
Yeah, this is kind of scary moments coming up, and I'm excited for it as well, too. I am at a boom, boom, like a boom, 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 like a boom, 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 boom. 4 guys are cool. Boom, boom, 4 guys are cool. It's a 4 for me as well. So really looking forward to where it is happening, but a lot of stuff going on in it as well. Well, that's going to bring us to the end of this part of the show. You got a comment or a question? Give us a call and leave us a voicemail. We would love to hear from you and play it on the next show. Leave us a message at 707-532-5269. That number again is 707-532-LBOX.
Pick up the Brood.
Kill all the Brood. We will deliver. Thank you, Jersey Mikes. We will be right back.
I hope he's home. Why does it sound like I'm using a phone in the UK?
I told you never to call me again.
Yeah, I know. And modern science has yet to create a device to measure how much I don't care. Look, I'm getting the trailer for this year's JLMA together, and I assumed I had to make you a part of it since you're always in everybody's trailer or something.
Well, look at you, leading this year's JLMA. Somebody's wearing his big boy pants. So, what's the theme?
I sent you an email like a month ago.
Like I even pay attention to anything you send me.
Countdown to Infinite Crisis.
Infinite Crisis?
No, Countdown to Infinite Crisis.
I'm not following.
Shocking. The theme this year, I'm going to, like I'm talking to a child. The theme this year is Countdown to Infinite Crisis. I thought it was a fascinating time period in DC's history, so a bunch of us are getting together to talk about the various specials and miniseries and crossovers that led up to Infinite Crisis. It's the event before the event. The whole thing is going to kick off on April 30th, 2020 with a special episode of Views from the Longbox covering the Countdown to Infinite Crisis 80-page giant, and from there a whole bunch of shows that I will be adding in post-production will discuss these previously mentioned miniseries and crossover issues.
And people actually agreed to this?
Shockingly, yes.
Well, it's probably a good thing that you're going to cover Countdown to Infinite Crisis instead of the Countdown series, because that was a train wreck.
Yeah, actually that was my thinking too. Now, are you going to help me with this trailer or not?
Fine, I will help you with your little trailer.
Good. Don't worry, by the way. There won't be any dates for you to get wrong.
I hate you so much.
JLMA 2020. Countdown to Infinite Crisis. The event before the event. This crossover kicks off on April 30th, 2020 on Views from the Longbox, and continues into Aquaman and Firestorm, the Fire and Water podcast, Robin, Everyone Loves the Drake, Pop Culture Affidavit, It All Comes Back to Superman, the Fanholes podcast, Justice's First Dawn, the Birds of Prey podcast, Married with Comics, the Coffee and Comics podcast, the Longbox Crusade, Task Force X, Relatively Geeky Presents, Wonder Woman, Warrior for Peace, and the Dr. DC podcast.
Welcome back from the break. Now let's get to the feedback part of the show where we share your comments, emails, questions, and shares in a segment called Crusader Comments. We are thrilled to kick off these comments with special shout outs to our Crusaders Club members. These are the fine folks that have joined our crusade. They enjoy early access to special Longbox episodes, voting to help determine show content, and so much more. These are the folks reaping the benefits and giving some much appreciated support to the show.
Alan W. Wright.
And Helica Wolf.
Oberon Elvis.
Bill Beer.
Billy D.
Bradley Dello.
Braxton Underwood.
Gary.
Clinton Robeson.
Captain Entropy.
Clark Westfield.
Dave Collins, Battlewagon.
Eric Hodges.
Eric Porta.
Ezra Gallo.
Gary V, Regular Wagon.
Gene Hendricks.
VW Bug.
Gerald Green.
Heinz K.
Jason Keene.
Jason Lady.
Jeff Polier.
Jeremy L.
Jim Jumpin'. I hope you like Jim Jumpin' too.
Jim Meal.
Joe Man Conan.
Joe Thomas.
John Watson.
Josh Strickland.
Candace Ward.
Kathy Bright. The MVP.
Matt and Lizzie Passo.
Mark Ross.
Maxwell Traver.
Michael Minton.
Miranda W.
P.D. Devons.
Paul Hicks.
Rick from Jeff and Rick Present.
Ronald Easterday.
Rob Morgan.
Samantha Maney.
Sean Urbanski.
Spidey 67.
Spreadsheet.
Steve Cronin.
Tim Price.
Tony Pennington.
And Toronto Cop.
If we missed anyone on our list, we do apologize. Keep in mind that we record these episodes well in advance of release, so if you're a recent addition, we should be adding you soon. But still, no worries. Just let us know that we missed you by sending an email to contact@longboxcrusade.com, and we will get it straightened out. As a reminder, you can become a Crusaders Club member by heading over to patreon.com/longboxcrusade. For as little as $1 a month, you'll get access to the amazing world of the Crusaders Club. Come check it out. We are one short of 51 short. And that kicks off Jared and I watching a movie and giving a review about it that we share to the Crusaders Club first and foremost. So I'm looking forward to that. I need to add to my 9 movies that I've watched over my lifetime. So help me out with that. If you don't have any extra scratch lying around, but you still want to help us out at Longbox Crusade headquarters, please take a moment to write a review on Apple Podcasts for this podcast. Even if you just want to keep it short with just star ratings, it helps raise the profile of the show, and we will share your review on the next show. Heck, do us a favor and leave a comment under our YouTube as well. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment under YouTube as well. Like, anything that gets that algorithm boosted up, we would really appreciate it. And we're going to move on and talk about social medias and shares from Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles 79 from August 1981, where we covered Amazing Spider-Man 223 and Uncanny X-Men 152.
Fan Film Fridays.
Our main man, Scotty Cameron.
Billy, a.k.a. the Bat Pod.
Coffee and Comics. We see you, Clinton. We appreciate you.
Kurt Spencer.
Doc Strange.
And Serpy Matt.
We're going to move on to some social media comments. I'll start with Scotty Cameron, who says, Red Ghost and the Super Apes feel like a product of the monkey craze in comics. Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends is a good show. We had Duke as Dr. Octopus, Bumblebee as Spider-Man, Megatron as Iceman, and the great Thaddeus himself, Optimus Prime, as Red Skull. Did they actually do those voices? Did they do Is he talking about voice?
I believe him. Yeah.
I believe him too. Like I believe him too. Yeah.
I'll take the next one from Alex Najako. And Alex says, it's a great Uncanny X-Men story. Emma, Massachusetts Academy was a good counterpart to Charles School. And the Hellions would fight for the New Mutants and X-Men. Firestar and Warpath fought them and eventually changed sides.
So Firestar changed sides with Warpath, and Warpath changed sides with Firestar, so they had each other's sides. What were those sides? Mac and cheese, maybe? Maybe a potato salad?
Was good.
Maybe. Yeah, that sounds good. Maybe a Jersey Mike's.
Yeah. Chips.
Fries.
Does Jersey Mike's have a side with mac and cheese?
Delvin looks like he has something to say. I'm not sure what it is.
I know. That's why I was just trying to keep this going.
Oh yeah, I forgot I was on mute. Don't worry, it wasn't important. It was Austin Powers, like one word, different meaning, homonym, and that was. Anyway, you can call and leave us a voicemail that we will play on the show. Leave a message at 707-532-5269 if you haven't listened to the show. That's 707-532-LBOX.
Seriously, pick up the phone.
Pick up the phone. Leave us a message. We are lonely. We just sit there sometimes for hours.
Staring at the phone.
Why aren't people calling and leaving messages? Because we listen to those messages and then we just kind of huddle together and just like, oh man,
Like AMG would say, you look like you haven't talked comics in a while, so pick up the phone and dial.
That's exactly what AMG would say. Like, what, these 90s rappers aren't doing it for you? You should. Anyways, thank you to everyone for the likes, shares, follows, and comments. We appreciate your friendship and help in spreading the word about this podcast.
And that is the show. Be sure to check out the website longboxcrusade.com, where posts will be made for journaling this crusade. I want to thank Jarrett, Jason, and Delvin for joining me on this episode, and everybody in the chat, along with everybody that is also out there watching us on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. We got a high number today, boys, so we really appreciate it, and thank you so much for joining us. It means a lot to us, and we appreciate it when we do these live shows. Thank you, everyone out there, for watching us. Before we go, I want to find out where the listeners and watchers can find us out on the internet. Delvin, where can you be found?
Twitter, X, DEE_RAY1977, Instagram at Delvin Ray. What about you, Jared?
I am at Yard Sale Artist on X, Facebook, and Instagram. You can check out my artworks at www.theyardsaleartist.com. And I want to give a special shout out to Sean Adams, who commented on some Facebook stuff recently, saying some really nice things about us here at the Longbox Crusade. So just want to let you know we heard you and we appreciate you out there, Sean.
Jason, where can you be found?
Well, Pat, I can be found at Jason Albrick on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. What about you, Pat? Bring it home.
Jason, I am glad you asked. I can be found on the Twitter at Christatos01. And if you want to interact with us via live chat and be entered in to win some free stuff on our live raffles, join us on our next episode of Doing It live stream on YouTube. It's the second Sunday of every month at 3:30 p.m. Central Time. Check out Longbox Crusade on the YouTube and make sure you are subscribing and liking and commenting. Also put in the comment, just even a quick comment. Hey, I love the show. Thought you guys were great. Pat's awesome. Love the Jersey Mike's. And or just put in the comments as to what kind of sub you like from Jersey Mike's. We'll take that. That helps the algorithm and boosts us up to a larger audience out there.
Maybe Jersey Mike's will sponsor the show. Who knows?
Who knows? Oh, man, if I had a Jersey Mike. Anyway, but with that, go ahead and check us out live as we are doing this recording right now. It is live, and we do thank everybody for watching us. Thanks again for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed this episode of Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles. You got a comment or a question, email us at contact@longboxcrusade.com or leave a comment on the Longbox Crusade Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. All that is at Longbox Crusade. Until next time, take care, and please join us on the next episode as we continue on this crusade to
read them all.
Jersey Mike's not an actual sponsor of the Longbox Crusade.
But you could be.
But you could be.
That's right.
The intro music is provided by musical genius Joe November.
Check out his SoundCloud at JOSEFLIN99. You won't regret it.
All songs, song clips, and characters discussed are copyright of their respective copyright holders, and no infringement is intended. We are just fans that like to share our love of comics.
Outtakes.
Ooh.
Give me 1 minute.
Like how invested we get. We are getting invested in these like we did the Hallies.
Hallies,
Yeah, I know.
absolutely. I can't even tell you how ecstatic I am on like 2 or 3 in a row. Like
bull crap.
I will carry this with me. Like it might be like epitaph on it. It was like, you know, here lies Delvin R. Williams. He won 3 karma counts in a row.
but never on Rookie Agent.
What? Oh my God.
Penciler was Christopher S. Claremont.
Man, he was the writer. He didn't pencil this thing.
Oh, did I say penciler? Oh, I'm sorry. I did.
Esquire. Oh,
Esquire.
Still doing it. All right. Time for the wrap up.
Time for the wrap it up.
Need the script up for this. Need the script up.
Hands down.
We ain't got to mess around. Let's podcast.
Don't mess around. Let's podcast. Let's podcast.